And nothing is said in this scene. And that's what's amazing. The last 3 minutes of this episode, there's not a word said, but it's probably some of the more moving stuff from this arc.
Yeah. Oh, and this is where the music that Kevin Kiner plays as Rex is walking back to the Y-wing. He has that shovel in his hand, and when it pans over to Ahsoka from behind, um, I was just in tears. I was crying. I did wonder. They didn't show it. I don't think. You can tell me different, brother. If they put Rex's helmet on one of those again to try to show that he is dead, or fake that he's dead. I didn't see that. I just saw it pan across to Jesse's, helmet, like you said, the Tano troopers, and then the other, um, you know, troopers whose masks weren't painted.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see his though. Did you, by any chance, on one of those to try to fake his death, or no?
No, I didn't see his on there, but we know he has his helmet because we see it in Rebels.
Oh, that's right.
So he has his helmet. We see it in Rebels. We see he has that this because Ezra wants to wear it, and Ezra does and actually ends up wearing it at one point. But no, he has that helmet. That helmet is with him. So it's not there at all. But the only thing that is left behind is pretty much to stage, I guess. Whether it was meant to stage Ahsoka's death or not, I don't know. But she drops her lightsaber.
Yeah.
And she pulls it out. She looks at it after looking at all the helmets. And she just drops it right there in front of all those buried troopers. And when she does, she turns and walks away. And that's the last we see of Ahsoka in the Clone Wars. How did you feel with this being Ahsoka's final scene?
Ooh. Like I said, we've said this over 3 different series, Rebels, Resistance, and now the Clone Wars here. Do you care about the characters? Do you love the characters? Well, I love these characters. I love Rex. I love Ahsoka. And so to see him, to see her drop that last saber and walk away is, on the one hand, incredibly sad, like both of them are feeling. At the same time, I think there's a hint of thankfulness in me that they're both alive, that we get to see them some more. But ultimately, it's just so emotionally powerful. This is where we're, I would argue, beyond an animated show. It's just so well done. But just like we said, I think it's a perfect ending to Ahsoka's involvement in the Clone Wars, and time to move on from that, for her to move into Rebels.
Definitely. I couldn't have found a better way to end Ahsoka's story than seeing her drop that saber and walk away, and paying respects to the men she fought beside for years. She's you could tell she's heartbroken. She's confused. She is unsure of what the future brings. But for her to drop that saber and walk away, it's you could tell she's trying to close that chapter at this point. There is no going back. Whatever conversation she had with Yoda and Windu, where she's like, not yet. She's not yet ready to go back to the Order. There is no going back now. So that chapter is over. So she leaves her sabers behind. Or in this case, saber, because she lost one in the fight. But it's over. And I completely love how they ended this for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to the closing scene, and I'll be perfectly honest. This closing scene caught me 100% off guard. I did not see this coming.
Well,
when
neither.
it
I mean, they could have ended it with Ahsoka dropping the lightsaber and just walking away. They could have ended it there, right?
that's pretty much what I would have been expecting too. But
Right.
then it kind of fades off, and next thing you know, we're fading back in on a Imperial Lambda class shuttle landing, and we have snow troopers walking everywhere, and we have stormtroopers there, and we have Imperial probe droids all over the place, and they're swarming this wreckage of this cruiser that has crashed. And then all of a sudden, as this probe droid approaches a stormtrooper, you hear that all too familiar breathing. And then the camera pulls back, and all you see are the black boots and the cape walk by the screen. That's it. That's all you see. And it pulls up to the ship, and there you see Vader approaching, and he stands there outside the cruiser, and then he bends down, brushes some snow away, and picks up Ahsoka's lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
And he ignites it, and it still ignites, lights up. And you can tell he knows it's hers, and he looks up in the sky, and then the convoy is just flying overhead.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody, if you've watched Star Wars Rebels, you know that's connected to Ahsoka. Because there was a convoy that always followed her around everywhere, and after she died, it was following her. Well, they thought she was dead. It was flying around there as well.
Yes.
And so he looks at it, disengages the saber, then turns and walks away, and the cameras just kind of zoom in on the snow where half-buried Tano Trooper helmet is lying there, aged by the weather, cracked and broken. And that's how it ends.
Unbelievable. Like just her dropping the saber and walking away was unbelievable. But to end it again, just top notch.
It truly, truly was top notch. It doesn't get more incredible than that. Incredible episode. I don't even know what to say, because, like I said, it's rare for episodes of any kind to leave me speechless, but these did it, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
It truly is. Going into our closing thoughts, on, of course, our closing thoughts are on, of course, both episodes, Shattered and Victory and Death. I can honestly say I wish this was a journey that did not have to end. But since it has to end, it could not have been ended in any better way than they did with this arc. Again, I have to take my hat off, and I have to bow to Dave Filoni's creative genius in writing this story and producing it and bringing this to life. Kevin Kiner, my Lord, he has proven again that he is the heir apparent to John Williams. I don't think the maestro himself could have composed a more moving score to close this series out. I do want to say this. I hope, and I don't know this is going to happen, but I would love to see uncut this arc, all pieced together, completely uncut, because I got a feeling that's how it was meant to be watched. So I would love to see that. I can honestly say I think this 4-part arc is the best Star Wars Disney has released since they have taken over the franchise. And that's saying a lot, because I ate, drank, and slept Rebels. And to me, to me, Rebels is far superior than Clone Wars in all aspects. But this arc is far superior than anything that we've seen anywhere. And that's that's saying a lot with as much as I love Rebels. It's better than any of the movies they've put out. It's better than the shows. This arc takes the cake. It definitely goes down as probably one of the top 5 Star Wars stories told throughout the entire saga, not just Disney, but prior to that as well. And I just want to close out my closing thoughts by saying to Dave Filoni and to the cast and the crew of Star Wars: The Clone Wars, thank you. Thank you so much. We are all forever in your debt for what you've given us. We could never thank you or repay you for what you've done in entertaining us and telling us these stories and bringing this show back to end it the way it should have been done the first time. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well said. Well said.
And I'm tearing up. So, David, do your closing thoughts.
Yeah, you saved me earlier when I was tearing up. There's a lot of tearing up here. I'm so thankful we as Star Wars fans got to see a proper end to the Clone Wars. I didn't think it would happen. After 2012, when Lucasfilm was sold to Disney, Clone Wars was canceled after 5 seasons. That was an incredible ending with Ahsoka there, saying goodbye to Anakin. But I'm so thankful we got season 6 on Netflix, and then of course now season 7. But to get to see Ahsoka, Rex, and Maul's journeys through to the end of the Clone War is just incredible. It's awesome. It just allows it to flow so well. What a gift these 4 episodes and all of season 7 to end what I would argue is the greatest animated show of all time. I've been around a long time. I was in the theater 10 times to watch the original Star Wars in the summer of 1977. So I've seen a lot of Star Wars, and I've watched a lot of cartoons. So I don't say that lightly. This show's incredible. It's incredible. And that's why I don't say that lightly. I haven't watched just a few cartoons or read a few comic books. I've read a staggering amount of them and watched a staggering amount of animated shows. So there's my argument. As Matt Lanner said in a recent interview, their goal, he said, was to enhance all the fans' experience of the prequels. Oh my gosh, they resoundingly did. I enjoy episode 1, episode 2. The end of episode 2, those last 10 to 15 minutes, I wanted more and more of that. And then, of course, we get the animated series. I love the end of episode 2. And then seeing this, remember before the Siege of Mandalore, you and I were talking, are they going to run this up to episode 3? Well, no, they didn't. They surprised us and overlapped it. Unbelievable. So it absolutely enhanced our experience and of the prequels. And I would argue the entire Star Wars saga. There's no question. I'd say this series, The Clone Wars, is not just a TV series or an animated series. It's truly a full-fledged part of this entire saga. And, whether it's movies, novels, you name it, it's right there. It's equivalent. It's, like you said, one of the top 5 Star Wars stories ever, agreed. And that's, when I've read a lot of these new novels. So yes, just incredible.